Welcome to This Is the Day. I'm Drew Cresp.
And I'm Bo Chansey.
That is right.
And we're having a day.
Having a day.
That's right, because this is the day.
Yeah, I love that.
I do too.
Okay.
May not be the day you wanted or the day you would have drawn up, but hey, it's the day you got, so have a day.
Yep.
Have a day.
Yep.
We're glad we can have a little bit of a day with you.
It may be that day that you stubbed your toe. Maybe it's a stub your toe day.
It happens.
It happens.
Yeah. Ouch.
Ouch. You don't round that corner tight enough, or too tight.
Yeah.
And you boink. That's okay. That doesn't have to define the day.
No, it just means that little piggy's not going to market.
That piggy's not going to market. That piggy's going home.
That piggy's going home. All right.
All right.
All right. Well, these little piggies are going to start off with these 3 envelopes. And we don't know what's in them, just like you don't know what the day's going to hold.
Nope.
We don't know what these 3 envelopes hold.
We don't.
So we're just going to draw one.
Okay.
Let her rip, Drew.
All right. I'm going far right.
Ooh.
Well, my right. Your left.
Got the green envelope.
2 stickers. Let's see here.
What do we got? What do we got?
We've got Real Talk.
Real talk. Okay.
Real talk.
Real talk.
Okay.
Real talk with Bo and Drew.
I've got to put on my Real Talk face. Okay. Here we go. Joy is not based on circumstance.
Okay.
Happiness is circumstantial.
True.
Is it wrong or useless to want to be happy? Or is joy all we should need?
Oh.
So, Real Talk
Absolutely.
conversation is about joy and happiness.
I have a lot of thoughts on this.
A lot of thoughts around here. Okay.
You want to lead us off, or?
Well, I think it's interesting. I think often, maybe in the past, I think more recently, I've been able to differentiate those two. I think in the past, I'd bring them together, that joy and happiness maybe were the same thing,
Yep.
but that joy has a little bit more substance to it. I'd love to hear your thoughts on.
Well, see, even that statement right there.
Okay.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's just, there is a line of thinking that says something like joy is better than happiness.
Okay. Maybe I might be in that.
I don't know, but I mean, you mentioned that it has more substance
Okay.
to it, like, and I think that both are important. I think they're different.
Okay.
So that we're differentiating between the two. So joy is something that, is maybe outside of our circumstances. We can have this sustaining joy, a joy that is with us all the time, a joy that the Holy Spirit can provide. It's a part of the fruit of the Spirit. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. And so joy is something that can be there regardless of whatever is going on, and joy can manifest in a variety of ways.
Okay.
So, like, how do you think joy would be expressed?
Well, I would think, so I've recently been a part of some birthday parties and have seen parents at birthday parties. There's a certain, especially the parents of the child, there is a certain joy I see when they see their child like enjoying and like honoring them. There's the parents, I just see joy there.
So like what's happening there at that party, like for say the children are younger, may not be what the parents would do for fun.
Right.
They're not playing pin the tail on the donkey. That's not their jam anymore. They have other hobbies and things that they're into. But seeing, the children and being in there with them, gives them a feeling of joy.
Yeah. I think that's what I would define in their eyes.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think joy is kind of this lasting soul satisfaction and it kind of dwelling in that. Now, happiness can be circumstantial, and I'm happy or I'm sad.
Yeah.
So, can you be happy and sad? Well, now there's an interesting dynamic right there, and I think you can. So, to be happy, in different circumstances, or to have circumstances that bring happiness, I think is pretty cool. So Jesus talks about this Sermon on the Mount. He comes out firing with blessed are, and that word blessed means happy, and he's really flipping. He's like, you think happiness is found in having wealth and power and winning and dominating and all the ways that we would think happiness will come. Yeah. He says it's really different than you think. There's another kind of happiness. And so like diving into that and fleshing that out and going, well, I can be joyful even in sadness or sorrow or grief. Yeah. But then like, can you get to a point where you're like, can I be happy too? And that's interesting. Like Ace had something disappointing. Ace had an opportunity to do something with a friend and his friend's family that he really wanted to do. He was invited. My son Ace, 16, and he was excited about it, but he was scheduled for work. And his job said, well, if you don't show up, we're going to have to end your employment. And he had a commitment to work. And so he had to make the tough call to go into work. And I knew he was disappointed in that, but I told him, I was like, hey, don't be miserable at work. Don't go there and pout. Go and make the best of it and have a good day at work.
Yeah.
And it wasn't where he wanted to be or what he had hoped to do, but he could still go and be happy. And I think that's something we forget.
No, I think that's a good note. And being able to differentiate those two, but also be able to uplift each one. And yeah, that's good.
Not everybody has to be happy all the time.
No,
but I think we can share happiness too, and share in another's happiness, which is a great thing as well. Like the parents at the birthday party, to share in another's happiness.
That's good.
It's powerful.
I love that.
Yeah. So anyway, we love your thoughts, and that's a good thing to chew on.
That's good.
Yeah, some
real talk.
Real talk.
Some real talk.
All right, we've also got a real Bible verse.
Real Bible verse.
Verse of the day here. It's coming in from 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 17.
Okay.
And the Apostle Paul is writing here, and he says, nevertheless, each person should live as a believer in whatever situation the Lord has assigned to them, just as God has called them. This is the rule I lay down in all the churches. I'll read it again. Nevertheless, each person should live as a believer in whatever situation the Lord has assigned them, just as God has called them. This is the rule I lay down in all the churches. All right, Drew, anything jump out at you there?
The phrase, the situation the Lord has assigned to them. My mind goes to that, the good works that he has prepared in advance for us to do, like this idea that we all have assignments, for lack of a better word, that there's a purpose and a reason for us to be here and what we're doing. And so then in that situation to believe that God is at work. I don't know, that's where my mind went when I saw that, like, hey, you've got marching orders. You've got a reason to be here and to be alive.
In whatever dynamic you find yourself in.
Yeah.
So contextually here, I wanted to kind of unpack that a little bit because Paul is actually writing about marriage and whether you're married or unmarried. And Paul himself was unmarried, and he saw that as a benefit for him because he wasn't concerned with family, that direct family unit and being a father and a husband. And so he was able to be fully devoted, or maybe, didn't have his energy going elsewhere in what he was doing. And so he was unpacking that, and he's kind of clear, like a little bit saying, well, this is my opinion. I wish you could all be like this. I would want this for you. Because he was really, all like, this is the hope of the world.
Yeah.
And, the end is near. And it totally 100% get that. But what he says there is, okay, but nevertheless, whatever situation that you find yourself in, like maybe you're married and you're like, I gotta get out of this marriage. Or maybe you're not married and you're like, when are you gonna provide me a spouse? What Paul is saying there is, to live as a believer. Like a believer in who Jesus is and what he's done and what he's promised to do. And I think that kind of can go back to even some of our conversation about joy and happiness, that there is this sustaining joy even if we're in circumstances that aren't what we desire or hope for. And if that joy is there, then I think there's a greater opportunity to also find some happiness in all kinds of circumstances. Because even in challenging circumstances, there's good things that can be there.
Yeah, I did not know that context, so that is helpful to unpack that a little bit. And
yeah, because the marriage dynamic is probably one of the toughest relational dynamics imaginable. Two becoming one, and these two radically different people, and then they become one, and navigating that is but for the grace of God.
Yes, I often
really
illustrate it like tectonic plates, two land masses coming together and creating a mountain, of a life. But it was a lot of work to get there, to show this great mountain that we now have. It was the smashing of the world,
It's a seismic shift.
It's a seismic shift.
For sure.
That's my marriage.
But it's good.
Yep.
And so anyway, that goes right in line with this is the day too. Whatever circumstances you find yourself in today, there is a joy that can be had. I mean, it's the day, so have a day. But there might also be some happiness even in the midst of some of the struggles. So go for it. Have a day.
Have a day.